All right, so let's answer the big question that we've been dying to know since day one of the semester. How many people should I poll in order to confidently predict who would win the 2020 US presidential election? And there's a few things we're going to have to answer before we just give a number. First of all, same question that's been asked all this video series. How confident do you want to be? We can't be 100% confident unless we ask everyone, and that's just the actual election at that point. So how confident do you want to be? Another thing we're going to need to do is figure out how we're going to calculate that sample size. And to do it, we're actually going to use, once again, this error margin equation. We're going to do a little bit of algebra. Not going to do it in this class. This is not an algebra class, but we're just going to manipulate this equation to solve for n, the sample size, in terms of everything else. So you'll see you have to multiply by root n, square both sides, divide by e squared, and that gives us the sample size we want to equal, that's a typo, the critical value squared times p hat times q hat divided by the margin of error squared. And if you don't have a best point estimate, because a lot of the times you are figuring out how many people to ask, so you don't have a sample data yet, you'll just use 50-50 if you don't have anything yet. But I digress. So we don't have that yet, right? I want to know how many people to poll. So I haven't done it yet. So I don't have sample data. So I'm going to use, in place of my best point estimate that I don't have, p hat to be q hat to be 0.5. So that takes care of the p hat, takes care of the q hat. Now I've got to worry about critical value and margin of error. These are things I got to decide on. I need to decide on an acceptable confidence level and an acceptable error margin. Now, there aren't lives at stake. Well, unless you want to be ultra political about who's going to be president. But so I'll say just 95% confidence level, right? If you aren't sure what to shoot for, 95% confidence level is the one to shoot for. And also, I'm just going to say I want to be accurate to 1% of the actual vote in November. So 95% confidence level because I don't have a better choice, and 1% because I said so. So using 95% confidence level, we get a critical value of 1.96. That's, again, the lookup off the table. And E is 0.01, 1% within the vote. So I run these numbers through my equation, and I get 1.96 squared, 0.5, and divide by 0.01 squared. And this gives me 9,604 people. Always round up. Always round up to the next person, right? You're not going to ask half of a person, so always round up. But anyway, if I ask 9,604 people using good polling techniques, can't stress that enough. So I have to do random sampling. I have to do no voluntary polling. I don't just have this poll sitting out on the internet somewhere. I have to not ask leading questions, all that good stuff. If I do all of that to 9,604 people, then I can say that I am 95% confident that the results of that poll, whatever it is, right? I haven't done it yet, but whatever those results are going to be within 1 percentage point of the national result in November. Now, I can poll fewer people, and that would either reduce my confidence or produce a higher margin of error, and those are fine, right? You don't have to poll 9,604 people exactly. And if you poll more people, that will improve your confidence or reduce your margin of error or both. So there's always benefits to do more. But that said, if I do this poll and it comes out to be 52% to 48% in favor of one or the other candidate, then I can say pretty reliably, 95% confidence, in fact, who should win the election in November. That's how it's done. This is how a lot of big polls are done. They poll so many people, and based on their responses, they can predict within a certain level of confidence who is going to win or what should happen for the general population. And that's how it's done. Well, thanks so much for watching this series. Let me know in class if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next series. See you up ahead.